Call the meeting to order. It's 6:30, September the 16th, and have a roll call here. Mr. Bailey,
Here.
here, Dean Ward's here, Mr. Stocker,
Here.
Mr. Young.
Here.
There is a quorum. If everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible.
liberty and justice for all. Thank everybody for coming tonight. We are the planning board and we're here to conduct the city's business tonight. If you're here to speak about a particular event, you will be allowed to speak. I will ask for your input. And when I do call you up, please come up, state your name and address for the record, okay? And if you have any questions, please address all your questions to the panel here or the planner, and we'll try our best to get any answers for you that so desire. All right, Cameron, if you would, let's move on to number 5. Well, no, number 5, did everybody have a chance to read the minutes from last month?
Yes, sir.
Any changes need to be made? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion. We approve the minutes from last meeting.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, Cameron, let's move to number 6A.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chair Ward. So this is a request to rezone a 0.61 acre lot and a 0.95 acre lot at the end of Wilton Drive from R12, which is classified as medium density residential, to R7, which is classified as low density residential. This is for the purpose of developing the vacant properties for the purpose of subdividing them and potentially building a duplex on each lot as what was listed in the application. The lots are currently vacant. They are surrounded by single-family dwellings and townhomes on the rear. In order for the land to be developed, each new lot created would need to have frontage on a public street. This parcel would likely need to extend the roadway in the form of a cul-de-sac or an approved turnaround, so each lot has frontage on a public street. And these items I mentioned would be handled during the major subdivision review if the zoning is approved. The request is strictly for the change of zoning classification of the 2 lots. On the topic of the roadway extension, city water will also need to be extended as it also stops where the current road Wilton Drive does. There's a sewer line that runs into the Chandler Village Townhome development that is on the south of the property. So that will not need to be extended and can be connected to them individually. The land currently falls in the suburban residential land use category, which supports the use of predominantly detached single-family homes. New neighborhoods may include a range of duplexes, townhomes, and small-scale multifamily dwellings of 12 units or less. Only the use of single-family homes and duplexes are permitted in the R7 zoning district that they are requesting. The appropriate density for this land use area is going to be 3 to 6 dwelling units per acre, according to the suburban residential land use category. And that is all that I currently have.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Faust, you here for KC Reynolds? Please step up.
Good evening, board members. My name is Kristen Faust. I live at 4990 Highway 62 South in Burlington. We are under contract for this property consisting of the 2 parcels that Cameron mentioned at the end of Wilton. We are looking to further divide these 2 parcels into possibly 4 to 5 lots, depending on how everything can work out. As Cameron stated, the street and utilities need to be extended to service the lots. Currently, the street ends. There's no T turnaround typically, as you are required these days. It just cuts off and ends. So we are proposing to extend this to some type of cul-de-sac to make a nice turnaround that's better than what's there now and hopefully be better for the emergency personnel for the city of Graham. And like he said, that all those details will be completed in the TRC meeting. We've been longtime residents of Graham. My husband, he's been a lifelong resident until recently we moved the past few years out from Graham. We've not only lived right here in Graham, but we've worked here professionally. We've completed several contracts for customers of ours. We are site development contractors. We perform grading and utility work. And we've also completed several personal investment projects in Graham. We own 5 duplex units along Washington Street behind the Smokehouse and Steve's. We love Graham, we love working here, and we'd love to have the opportunity to do more. Graham has grown tremendously the past few years, and this land has been for sale a few times. I think it's changed hands a couple times. And there hasn't been anything proposed for improvements thus far, so here we are. We feel that this request is in line with the land use plan as the staff recommends, and that we could extend this and make it nice, make a nice project and enhance that part of the area. So we're here to answer any questions that you guys have, and I see a lot of the neighbors are here, so I'd love to meet them and we'll get going with that.
Thank you, Ms. Faust. Mr. Bailey?
Can I just say I do have a conceptual drawing of the extension that we are proposing, if you guys would like to see that.
Yes.
Please.
Can I
Yeah,
present
for
that?
sure. Just take into consideration as well that none of what she shows today, a part of this rezoning will be binding by any means. But it's certainly a illustration that she could provide of what could potentially go there.
That'll help visualize.
Just disclaimer.
Thank you.
Sure. Might as well.
Please.
Sorry,
Here, she can have mine.
I don't. Did you put it on the camera maybe? Oh, gotcha.
That 19,000 square feet on lot number 5. I can't,
Yeah, there's a 19, I can't see.
I got it. I'm gonna zoom in. It's 19,210.
10.
Yes.
210. And 14 something.
Is that 14?
Yeah, I'm gonna get it for us too.
So like, oh, wait.
14,208 on
Mhm.
4. Lot number 1 is 8917. Lot number 2 is 8724. And lot number 3 would be 10,491. Okay. Okay, ma'am, could y'all hold y'all's discussion? Excuse me, ma'am. Could y'all hold y'all's discussion down for just a minute? Thank you. Mr. Bailey, you have any questions at this time?
No, sir.
Is this a change from what we received? Because I don't see a duplex. I see 5 single family homes here.
So it looks like what she provided was just a preliminary subdivision that does not have a proposed use or building type on it currently. So once the lots were platted out, per se, after the zoning was approved to R7, at city council, they would then request for major subdivision. The lots would be platted out, then they could go with the R7 zoning and put duplexes on each lot that they wanted.
And this is just for a straight rezoning
Yes, sir.
request at this hearing.
And who pays for the water and road improvements, the city or the developer?
Developer would, yes, sir.
For both of them?
Yes, sir.
And how does the major minor subdivision affect this if council passes the minor subdivision regulations next month?
So I don't think it'd make any change because the major subdivision classification requires any development, whether it be 1 or 2 lots or 3 lots that extend public roadways, or utilities have to go through the major subdivision. So it would go through that regardless.
What would this project look like without the rezoning?
If it was without the rezoning, it would be, they'd still have to do the extension of the roadway, which would still have to get reviewed by the technical review committee. And it would be restricted to 12,000 square foot lots as the current R12 zoning requires, and would only allow for single family uses, single family homes, that is it. And they could apply for townhomes via special use permit, or of course, a conditional rezoning.
Mr. Young?
No questions.
Based on my calculations, it's 61,550 total square feet based on the drawing. And I know this is just an illustration, but essentially, even if we went to the if we stayed at R12 zoning, she still could get 5 lots there. Is that correct? Is that what you're seeing?
It would really depend on how the roadway worked out. It would depend on engineering, and I can't engineer on the spot. That was drawn up preliminarily by their engineering staff. I don't feel I'm at liberty to kind of answer whether or not they'd be able to meet that criteria without doing a deeper look into it. I think the reason behind the R7 request is not necessarily for the lot size, but for the allowance of the duplexes. And correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Faust, I don't want to speak out of turn by any means, but I think that is kind of the brunt behind the request for the R7 was the lot sizing, but mostly the duplex, correct?
Correct, but there could be, I mean, when we get down to it and get the details finalized with the roadway, we could not have enough room for one, so we may do a single family house on the smaller lot.
Thank you. Anyone from the crowd here would like to speak about this? Please, if you would, come up and state your name and address for the record. I apologize for calling it the crowd, the audience.
My name is Jim Longslauger. I live at 215 Wilton Drive in Graham, North Carolina.
Can I get your last name again?
Lautenslager.
Thank you, sir.
My biggest concern is the drainage, because everything from our street and everything drains into that smaller lot. And I live right next to that smaller lot, and it all comes, I get surrounded, all the water from all the houses around me comes right through my property to go into that lot. And if it can't drain into there, then it's gonna flood me out.
Okay.
So that's my biggest concern.
Well, any development that's done there, if it's approved, if any development, whether it's Ms. Faust here trying to get her someone else, would have to address those issues and not allow any water to drain upon your property.
Okay, and that, the smaller lot, it used to be a pond.
It did.
Yes, okay, so you knew that, yeah, so that's why all the water drains through there. I mean, we have houses on this side of us and houses behind them, and all the water from their property all runs down through our backyard. So
Right.
that's
Anything,
my big concern.
anything further?
The amount of traffic that's gonna be on that road is a big concern also, because they do duplexes, you can figure there's gonna be at least another 20 cars for
Mhm.
that, figure 2 per household, maybe more. So the traffic's gonna be a lot different. And you got anything you want me to add?
No,
Well, that's
okay.
just the biggest concern is flooding out our property. Cause the last hard rain we had here, we ended up with water in our house from the last rain. Cause it had no place to go, because the smaller lot floods as it is right now. So, yeah, that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cameron, if you would, if you would address the drainage, just so they understand the full drainage aspect of what our codes allows and don't allow for.
Yes, sir, for sure. So the city of Graham, we've adopted a stormwater ordinance back in the day. which requires any development that is over an acre and disturbs over 24% of that acre has to do stormwater permitting here through the city, whether that be I'll say high density or low density. I think it's whether you're over that 24% or not. But they have to meet the pre-construction drainage calculations over there. And once they're done, they have to match those with their post drainage calculations. So there shouldn't be any excess drainage that comes through there due to what is reviewed during that major subdivision process via our technical review committee, which consists of our engineering staff. So they'll work with, if accepted, of course, with Ms. Faust's engineering team and ours would review their plans for their stormwater management and how they're going to deal with it to ensure that they're meeting how the drainage was working before and not going into y'all's lots, if that makes sense, and to try and mitigate whatever could happen for that.
The only thing is, because everything from around us, all the water from the rain and everything flows right through our yard.
It goes all the way around our house, not just our yard, all the way around the yard.
Yes, ma'am, I understand. So
Which I understand that's an easement, right? Considered an easement.
the drainage easement, if there is one back through there, then yes, that will likely be addressed of. If there is the fashion that the water is flowing through there via a drainage easement, then it could be incorporated, as like I said, to continue that fashion, but making sure that the same amount of runoff is going through that area as it was before. And also including additional methods of runoff around maybe, I don't know, but like I said, it's more or less like the engineering side of things requires them to meet their pre-construction calculations, which is what is existing out there to ensure that it doesn't get worse, essentially, and also potentially provide betterment for the area.
I think an engineer should come to our house when it rains one day. Let them see what it does.
Yes, ma'am, if you would like, I would be more than happy to take your phone number and pass that along. Yes, ma'am, for sure, no problem.
Okay.
Anyone else from the audience would like to speak tonight?
You got it.
I'm up. My name is Kathy Ward, and I live at 214 Aloha Drive, which is the corner of Wilton and Aloha. And I am a lifetime resident of Graham, not just a was-been. I've been there since I was 7 years old, I believe, when my parents moved into that house, and we've lived there ever since. The neighborhood has not changed a lot. The four neighbors that are on Wilton basically have not changed a lot. We are all older couples, more leaning toward retirement and peacefulness than anything else. These duplexes coming into this field is going to be a big change. We park on Wilton. So you put 20 more cars on Wilton Drive with us parking on Wilton, which we have done for over 50 years, there's not going to be enough space for two cars to pass each other. It's never been a problem because there's only been 4 of us there, and we know to look out for each other. But you're adding a lot of traffic. You added a lot of traffic on Aloha when you built that strip mall that turns around now and comes back down Aloha. This is a very well-established old community. So my question is, are we building these duplexes to be sold? Are we renting them? Is this going to be low rental housing? Are you talking about it being a retirement type thing where people are not throwing wild parties down in the field below us? I get up at 3 o'clock every morning. I don't want to have to listen to somebody partying until midnight. That's a big change for this little neighborhood that has been very, very stable for so long.
Ms. Ward, what we're here for tonight is just strictly a rezoning request, and whatever if it's approved by council, whether it's R7, whether it's R12, that's what would be required. There's a box there that says what they can build. It's not saying that
And it would be better if it was single home houses down there.
in that.
Less traffic, less disturbance, not just, 40 families running back and forth up and down the road.
I'm kind of lost out of 40 families, if it was approved to 5 lots. Are you saying 40, are you just talking about 40 cars, 40 additional cars?
All the traffic. Plus, the road is not big enough to pass on. I'm going to tell you that now. And I have nowhere else to put cars. My house was built with a very small driveway. One car fits in that driveway. That's it. Everybody else is on the street. And I don't really intend to have to move them. I don't have any place to put them.
Any questions for Ms. Ward? Mr. Bailey?
No, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else from the audience, please?
My name's Anita Hunter. I live at 216 Wilton Drive. And my concerns are same as Kathy's. It's always been, I grew up in that house, and it's always been a quiet neighborhood, always been the dead end. And it concerns me, like if these are duplexes, that's where we're talking about the traffic. Now, if it stays zoned like it is, then that, you'd only could put the single family houses on it. That wouldn't be a problem, but all this traffic from duplexes, that it's very much a concern because of, like she said, it's a very short, Wilton Drive short. You can only pass one way because of having the parking on the streets, which, like she said, she has to park on the street because her driveway is very short. I don't have that problem, but my problem is all the traffic. And we are all a retirement area. We're retired or gonna be soon. And it's very concerning that what could happen here. And of course, there's nice condos on the back side of the field. And then we're, the front side of the field, of the property there, it's going to be sold. And if there was low income there, that's really a problem. If these duplexes are going to be low income apartments, no telling what we'd get there. And it's always, like I said, it's been a great neighborhood, and we don't want to see that change.
Any questions for Ms. Hunter?
No.
Thank you, Ms. Hunter. Anyone else from the audience like to speak?
Hi, my name is Candace Brown, and my address is 2056 Chandler Village Drive. I am a new resident to Graham. I've been here two years, and a part of what attracted me was the quiet and the area behind my townhome is wooded and very scenic and quiet. Did I mention it's quiet back there? And would really love if it would stay quiet. Now, I know that space, I guess, has to be developed. Does it have to be developed in that way? I mean, if it was, a single family house but not duplexes, but sure would appreciate it if it could stay quiet. So I don't know if there's a better picture that can be provided to the residents to maybe reassure us or give us a better idea of what it could look like. I'd appreciate it. And also, who can I call about defining what an R12 and an R7 density residential.
We can get that answered for you right here tonight.
Okay.
Mr. Planner, if you would address the R7 and R12.
Yes, ma'am. So, essentially, the difference between the R7 and the R12, of course, is the number itself. That number, is essentially the signal for the per 1,000 square foot acres that or square foot of the lot that is required to develop. So in the R7, you only need 7,000 square foot of lot area, a minimum of 7,000 square foot lot area to create a lot. In the R12, you need 12,000 square foot of lot area in order to develop or create a lot. So that's what essentially the difference here is it's currently R12. So if they were to want to develop this, they would have to create that cul-de-sac as shown on that piece of paper, and each lot would have to be 12,000 square feet. As shown on that handout that I gave to you, they're all greater or less. There are some that are less than 12,000 square feet. And so that is the reason why the request is to get a smaller lot size for that lower or that higher density. Yeah, I put low density on here, but it's actually high density. I apologize. Is essentially the request for that. So you have smaller lots on a smaller piece of land in order to maximize the number of units that you can get on the lots out there, if that helps you out any. I'm happy to answer any other questions you may have.
Okay, are you Cameron?
I am, yes, ma'am.
Okay, I will reach out to you so I won't tie up the meeting. Just wanna say that I moved here from Durham and I really like the quiet here. And some of my neighbors are maybe retired, but I am retired. And I'm appreciating the way Graham is set up now.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Cameron, if you would, just give a brief overview to the audience of what could be put on a 12,000 square foot lot.
Yeah, for sure. So as you know, we mentioned about these different types of Rs and these different types of numbers. There's also permitted uses that fall within these zoning districts, which you can see upon here on the screen. You can see these different types of colors and over here and different types of stuff. So you see like R18 is this darker green. You have this R12, which is this yellow. And you have RMF, which is a little bit different. We won't get into that one, and some R7 around. So essentially these different colors have different things that you are allowed to do inside of them. So in the current yellow state, of course, as I mentioned, in order to divide the lots, each one would need to be 12,000 square feet. On top of that, that yellow zoning district only allows you to build single family homes as a use by right, which is it can come into the planning department and the building department and erect it without having to get any notice or anything. You can develop townhomes on R12, but it has to go through a public hearing fashion that has to get approved. So that's the main difference in the R12, and you go to the R7, it allows for, like I said, those 7,000 square foot created lots. You can still put single family residences on there, but you can also put duplexes on there as a use by right, which is they can create it, come into the planning department and the building department and pull their permits. Of course, with this one, it have to go through a little bit more review with, like I said, the stormwater and the roadway extension through there as well. We'd have to review all of that. But that's a general rundown of kind of how these different numbers and zoning district works. So another example is, you see this pink, this is the B2, which is commercial. You're not really gonna permit, types of residential uses to go in a commercial area. It's really strictly commercial. So that's the difference in the colors and the numbers. It all boils down to what the city allows to go inside of these districts. And this, of course, is what they're wanting to change is from that R12 to the R7 to allow them to expand and create duplexes as well as potentially single family homes. But it seems like the request is strictly for the R7 for duplexes. So, is that good?
Thank you. Anyone else, like to speak? Come on back up here. Thank you.
Can I ask how it benefits the city of Graham to change this to R7s?
I don't know if there's really any benefactor to any municipal party here in this state. I currently, of course, am just an employee at this state. The sewer's already extended through, the water's extended through. It can be developed in a way that would still help the city in the form of, and it would help you all as well, creating that turnaround for trash pickup, emergency services, not blocking up the road, things along those lines. So that is the only current benefactor that the city has. It doesn't really benefit us for a type of development to come through here outside of, additional small tax base that may come through it. And I'm not really at liberty to talk much about that. I believe our city council would probably be able to give you a better rundown of if this is beneficial for the city or not. The request that was received by the planning board is just to review the application for the rezoning request. Like I said, it really just boils down to the betterment of the whole drive as a whole. It can be, of course, upgraded in its current state and divided on 12,000 square foot lots, but it seems like the request is to get a little bit more than that. So a little bit extra tax base, I would imagine, a very small percentage that really doesn't have much of a benefit. But like I said, I'll digress and let city council probably answer that question.
Okay. So it's not going to benefit the city of Graham tremendously to put duplexes back there. It's also in the zone of South Graham, which is a Title I school, and we're already full. I'm just going to tell you. Is this going to be low rental houses that they're going to put back there?
And I can't assume what the city council will approve. The only thing we're here to do tonight is to approve whether the rezoning request is appropriate or not.
I understand that, but I hope you're going to take into consideration that if it's not bringing a big financial windfall to the city of Graham, that you would consider what it's going to do to the community that has been there forever and has supported the city of Graham forever.
I hear you loud and clear what you're saying there, but this board's job is to do nothing more than to see if it meets zoning requirements. The city council has the final say of anything. Even if we deny it, the city council could approve it, or if we approve it, city council could deny it. They have the final say. We just follow the city's zoning ordinances, and if it meets certain ordinances or everything about the zoning patterns and stuff, then we either vote to approve it or deny it. That's all we do. We can't take into consideration the schools, whether they're overcrowded. Graham don't build schools. Alamance
Nobody does.
Alamance County is in charge of that. And so we can't take that into play that the schools could be overcrowded and busting at the seams. That can't factor in on our decision.
Okay. So us being here tonight will have no effect on their decision.
Well,
That's what
that's
you're-
you saying that. That's not us saying that.
That's pretty much what you're telling us.
No.
It doesn't matter how we feel about what you're going to do to our community. That's not going to be taken into consideration. It's going to be up to the city council, whoever, and whether they can get enough money out of it or not.
Man, that's something you need to ask the council. That's above us. All we're here to do is see if it follows the ordinance. Ms. Faust, you got something else you'd like to add? Just,
I'd just like to follow up with a couple of comments. We're here to answer questions. We want to do a nice project. Certainly don't want to make any neighbors mad. We want them to be happy. And, I think people have a right to use their property and they have a right to sell their property. And this property's been laying here for quite some time I think the original owner, their son had it. He sold it and now it's being sold again. And to my knowledge, nobody's had any offers on this property but us. So and it's been quite some time now. We've been working on it, but we're trying to do something nice. I don't want to go back and forth with everybody, but I don't think it's fair to classify one structure of another as party neighborhood. there can be big parties, families within a single family home and not just duplexes. And as far as the cars, I think same thing. Typically what we do is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath duplex. And some of our properties, we've got like just one married couple living there with 1 car. So I don't think you can determine that, 2 cars per home when you just don't know, who's going to be there. I will say that we do use Sunshine Rentals for our properties, and we've been with them for quite some time. They do an extensive background check, high credit scores, they do criminal history, rental histories. They really do a thorough research on the tenants. And we did call the Graham Police Department just for a records search on our properties. And to date, we've had no police calls or any reports on any of our properties.
Thank you. Questions, any further questions for Ms. Powell?
No.
Thank you.
I have a question. Yeah, ma'am?
Yeah.
Why not just put 2 single-family homes on there?
Well, we look for investments. And like I said, this is a property that's been sitting there. We're looking to extend it and make the street nicer. I mean, currently, I don't think it would be approved to have the street just dead end like it is, Cameron. I know we wouldn't be allowed to do that. So that's what we're looking to extend that, make a nice turnaround and just enhance the property and make it usable for somebody.
And I might help in that fashion as well. I'll probably have to zoom in a little bit, but currently you can see Wilton Drive kind of dead ends even previously before the lot line starts. And of course, we require for every single lot here in the city of Graham to have frontage on a public right of way. So they would still have to extend this and create a turnaround in order for these lots to be developed if you just put 2 homes on it. And I guess, to Mrs. Faust's point, when you're coming to financial situations, that's probably why it's been on the market for as long as it has, is because I've answered many phone calls about these 2 properties in particular, and I've told them all the same thing, as well as many other properties here inside the city of Graham, is you have to do X, Y, and Z in order to build a single family home on it. So
Would, from my viewpoint, you've got all these single-family homes along that road. For me, it wouldn't make sense putting, I mean, I'm sure it would if I was an investor.
Mhm.
But if I lived over here, I wouldn't want it either. And it would be consistent. And I know whatever the Graham's plans and all that and the staff recommending approval. But it looks like it would be more consistent with that area. Just put 2 single-family homes up there, and you say that you don't know about cars. If you've got a single-family home, I'm willing to bet there's probably going to be a minimum of 3 cars for that house. If you put, what was it, 10 duplexes? Or, yeah, 10, was it 10?
yes, sir.
Depending on how many people are in the house, every one of them's gonna have a car. And that's just my experience with what we've seen in the other projects.
Could be, could depend on,
I don't see it.
I think it depends on the bedrooms too. A single family home could have more bedrooms. If you've got teenage drivers in that household, then that's going to be more than a 2-bed, 1-bath.
Sure.
Could be. Yep.
I mean, you can have more cars than bedrooms.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen it. Yeah. And then they'll all be parking on the street.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Cameron, the stub for Chandler Village and Wilton Road, was that easement there, was that abandoned, or is that still an easement there for the stub to come through and connect to Chandler?
Nah, I think
It
it's really just paper right of way at this point. I don't know why, whenever Chandler Village was developed, that they didn't create a stub out. If it would have been the responsibility of anybody, it would have been the Chandler Village development at that time to connect to that stub out for a connection through. There's not really the ability for a roadway to continue in between these 2 houses currently. And so that is why you would likely see a dead end street through here. And after some discussion, there would still be a little bit of paper right of way that is not dedicated to anybody. So whenever they create the cul-de-sac, the city would essentially have to relinquish the additional right of way space to the lots that are shown on that plat through there. So it'll be a multi-layered process. of getting this stuff situated. So, but that's of course pending approval. Yes, sir, Mr. Bailey.
Show me, Cameron, where the turnaround would be. Can you?
I think it kind of, well, I'll try my best. I may need to borrow one of the packets, so it will essentially go,
Diagram, but
so it would go and kind of circle
that's,
through here in this area. This is super rough, of course.
okay,
All of the proposed lots, Mr. Bailey, would have to touch the cul-de-sac
okay,
to have
Yes, sir.
right of way.
that's what I,
Yeah, all of them. So whether it's 20 foot in or 40 foot in, all of the lots, if they was cut off like this, would have to touch the
okay.
cul-de-sac.
That's the current issue we have with the lot right now, is because the two lots that are there don't touch any bit of public right of way or public streets, I should say. So that's the difficulty they have with developing these lots currently.
There's no further questions from the audience. I'll close the public comment section and we'll talk about it amongst ourselves. Mr. Young, you got anything further you want to add?
No, sir.
Mr. Doc?
I don't have anything in general other than to say that I don't think this is a good rezoning.
Bailey?
No, you answered mine. I just wondered when the turnaround, I just wanted to get clarification on that each lot has to touch that.
If there's no further discussion, I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion that we disapprove this request.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a motion. I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
So y'all all four against it, correct? Gotcha.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You welcome. That concludes this hearing. If anyone would like to leave, they're welcome to, or you can stay till we finish. We're almost finished anyway. Is there any public comment about any non-agenda items by the members?
No.
Mr. Planner, you have anything for us?
No, sir, not at the moment. I think it's, I don't know how much in detail I can get, but get ready to get your Board of Adjustment hats on. We probably will have to be meeting here in the next couple months.
Okay.
So I'll, kind of send out some feelers and let people know where they stand. I know, Mr. Stockert, Mr. Young, I think since y'all are two, the newest ones on here, y'all will be the alternates.
Alternates.
Currently moving forward, so we'll have 3 city members and 2 ETJ members. But if there's somebody that fails to be able to attend that night, one of you could step in, of course, probably the most senior figure. I would have to look and see when you both joined. And if y'all join at the same time, it's a flip of the coin, whoever wants to do it more than the other, so.
I think I got a year
And-
on them.
And just remember when that does come out, that is a quasi judicial proceeding. There's no independent investigations, or you can't talk about it except for in the chamber. Okay. Nothing further. I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed?